Hi everybody, we're here in Middletown. We thought we'd just give you an update of our garden, all the work we've done this week, the different plants we've put in, and the seeds we've started.
So there's the garden that we put in. That's actually the area. We're going to give you a little infrastructure tour in a second, but that's the size of our overall. It's about 1/3 of an acre. And here's our fruit trees under because it's been freezing, so we wrapped them. And that wrap comes on and off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just simply talk about the infrastructure because Stephanie's done almost all the gardening. But we put in the posts first, the 4x4 posts, and then when Stephanie was up visiting the folks, taking care of them, while she was gone, I put all the T-posts in, and when she got home, we put in all the 4-foot chicken wire to keep the jackrabbits out. So our infrastructure is basically this. We've got water going underneath the pipes. We've got spigots, 1, 2, 3 in the corner, and then one outside for the orchard, all underground. We've got these horse troughs, I guess, feeder troughs for raised beds. And that's the basic infrastructure. Then Stephanie will tell you what we've planted.
10 cattle troughs. They're in groups of 2 going all the way down the line. And yesterday I took my asparagus, which I started last year, out of a smaller container and rerouted all of it in this 10-foot cattle trough. And then I decided to start another group of seeds. So I put bantam corn in, and sweet corn, zucchinis, cauliflower, eggplant, shell peas, spring onions, watermelons, bush beans, red peppers, tomatoes, all of that kind of stuff. So those are...
Now, when they'll shoot up, you plan on planting them out here in the garden in the
right,
regular dirt?
I'll transfer them. When I get little starts, I'll transfer them into a vacant spot in one of the cattle troughs for a while, so I can get them a little bigger before the birds will eat them. So the birds won't eat them. And then I'll transfer them out to the bigger plots in the garden. This has bok choy, so that's kind of an experiment for us. It's doing okay. It's only been here for about a week, maybe less, but the birds definitely eat it. So these nets just slide right over the top on these hoops, and I'm able to protect everything from the birds. That's a vacant spot for now. This trough has some potatoes, and then I was amending the soil yesterday in this one. It was a little bit too heavy, I thought, so I incorporated a bunch of straw, which putting straw between the rows is great because I walk on it for a few months, breaks it all down, then I can incorporate it into my beds, and I can add new straw to the pathways. So I would like some wood chips as well. So I have some celery here, which is doing great up here, and onions, which I want to pull these and put them out in the garden pretty quick because I think this soil is too wet and heavy for the onions to force their way through. I was amending this trough yesterday, so there's nothing in there. This is my fennel, and fennel doesn't like to be in with anything else. It has such a strong odor, and it's repellent to other roots. So, and it does like water, so this will stay in this wetter, heavy trough. Hopefully if we get a little heat, not so much rain, that'll really shoot up, but it's getting some new leaves, so I'm hopeful. This trough needs to be amended. Nothing's going in there right now. This trough, I bought some new starts and then it got down to 30 degrees and froze them. So these are some peppers, very sad, and some black prim tomatoes, and I'm hoping that they'll come back. These, I have 4 little potato plants, and they're supposed to be covered at all times. So I just put straw on those, and the more they grow, the more straw you add. You just keep bundling it around them. This one's a little guy. Down here, that reminds me of something I was going to do today. There's nothing in here. This was too wet, so it rotted out some potatoes. I tried to start in that, so I've got to amend this one. But last year, I took tiny little clippings off the neighbor's rose bush, 4 or 5 different rose bushes, and I got 5 different starts. I planted one out in the corner. by the spigot already. But I'm looking forward to the roses, and they're good for the bees and everything. And then this trough I've just kind of been leaving. This is all cilantro, so it's reseeded from last year, and I'm leaving it as herbs for now. I have some sorrel there, some thyme, cilantro. Okay, so this week one of the bigger projects I did was dig out some troughs for pathways and build up the strawberry beds. This chicken wire is probably a little bit too big to repel the gophers, moles, and voles, but I'm hoping it will be a deterrent. The strawberries are doing great. I haven't run drip line on these yet, but I'll need to this summer because they like consistent moisture, and they don't like water from the top since they're berries. Anyway, I put in 24 berry bushes, and they're all down in little rows here. And when it freezes at night, I just come out and throw some of this excess straw over the top. The birds have been in here like crazy getting straw for their nest. So everything's kind of fluffed up, but I have a lot of flowers on these strawberries. And they've just been there a week, so I'm pretty happy with that. We're also picking up all the coffee grounds from the local coffee shop. And moles, voles, and gophers hate the smell of coffee. So I'm incorporating that into all of the vegetable areas right now. Let's see, this was stuff that was over in my troughs and not doing good, but these are all my beets, and they actually look like they're doing great. The darker spots are the coffee grounds I've sprinkled, and so I probably have close to 50 or 60 beet plants in here in 3 rows. And when I dug the rows out, I added E.B. Stone's Sure Start. And our master gardener says that stuff is the bomb, and everything will take off beautifully. And then it's been freezing at night, so for now I'm just keeping these claws on everything. That's hitting a rock. Okay, and this, what do we have in here? Oh, my cabbage and Swiss chard I replanted from the cattle troughs as well. And I have some dinosaur kale. So these were not doing good in the troughs, so I moved them over, and hopefully they'll do okay. Here, so far no gophers. Stick that back in. Okay, and this I'm really happy with. These are under here all fava beans, and I just took dried seeds from the Healdsburg house and replanted them, and every one of them came up. So that's going to be a lot of fava beans for this year. Next year I'll probably do double or triple, because I usually end up making fava bean hummus, and I spread the paste out on a cookie sheet, put it in the freezer. Once it's frozen, you can pull it out and just crack it, and it breaks into pieces that you can put into a 1-gallon Ziploc. And then we've got fava bean hummus all year, which we love. Okay, I have daikon radish under this cloth. I won't bother to show you. That's all daikons, which the birds seem to love the leaves. And then my spring peas are coming up here. So they'll all start on these wires. And I have more in the cattle troughs to add to that. And then these were the carrots. There's 2 very random rows right here of carrots. And I started those in like December. It was so cold, I just threw them in the ground.
The seeds though, right?
The seeds, I started them from seed.
Here's Stephanie's prized possession. If
What?
there's one, well, she's probably going to tell you about this first, then we'll go to her
What's this?
obsession. It's not a prized possession, her obsession. But
So
what is this?
These are red sunflowers. I just planted them as a pollinator row, but they're the dark chocolate and dark red. So those should be pretty.
Now we move on to her obsession, blueberries.
Yes, and I love blueberries. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8 blueberry plants. And they say 1 blueberry plant per person in a family is adequate. There's 2 of us, and you can see I've planted 4 plants per person.
Yeah. And she's expecting twins, so this will work out real well.
That's not funny. It's horrible. Actually. Anyway, so these are my blueberries. There's all different varieties because they cross-pollinate. And over here I have another group of sunflowers. They're just the big yellow ones as pollinators. So that's my garden right now. I could weed all day long, as you can see, but it's coming. All right, this is my old wash tub. Daryl and I found it in the original pump house down at the front of the property. It was laying down in the pump house on the concrete slab floor down there, and I wanted it up here, so he brought it up for me, and I put one of my roses in it. It's a climber rose. So I fully expect to replant this at some point, but I thought it was super cute. There's still a concrete double wash sink down there, probably from the 40s or 50s, that he has to bring back to the garden for me as well. Okay, this is the orchard, and I've got a variety of things in here, and doubles, of course, on some things so that they cross-pollinate. Daryl can show you these flowers here in the field. I have no idea what these yellow flowers are, but they come up in little groups, and they're really beautiful, and they're quite hardy. They don't have a succulent leaf on them, but they have kind of a thicker leaf. So anyway, in here we have a pomegranate, and that's been here for quite a few years, and it did get burnt this year. The leaves are totally dry, so I'm hoping that comes back, which I'm sure it will. And I have another pomegranate down here, a nectarine over there. This is going to be a persimmon, which we just put in this year. And I'm going to put some citrus in these 2 empty holes right here. I've got a pear out here, a plum, an apple, another pear, another apple, 2 big trees. I've got an Asian pear over here that gave me like 400 Asian pears last year. I had to pull blossoms off so the tree didn't break. And then a peach in the far corner, another fig. I have 2 figs, can't remember if I said that. And then another apple under there. So we'll put the citrus here. I'd like to get another plum tree or 2. But I do have a grapefruit, a lime, a mandarin orange, a Meyer lemon, and a nectarine all in pots, plus 2 olive trees in pots, which need to get transferred to the ground this week probably.
And don't forget, on either side of the road, we also have planted 2 black walnut trees. One that broke, that's got a shoot coming up that's quite healthy. That's the one next to the stake that you don't actually see much there. But the other black walnut's doing quite well. That'll take a few years before it produces, right?
And they're Chandler walnuts, not blacks. They're English Chandlers. Sorry to correct you. Anyway, so it's coming. It's little. It's a lot of work.
Of course, we have like 30 redwood trees. They're doing very well, very healthy. And the poppies are coming up. And one time, the last time Steph was up in Oregon, I got my little tractor out, put the flail mower machine on it, and spent 5 solid days mowing all of our 14.5 acres worth of ground.